Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. The Samsung Galaxy S8 is one of the best phones of 2017, and we're not even halfway through the year yet. Okay, so that's not exactly the most surprising revelation, even despite Samsung's recent history, but the main question is, should you buy the Samsung Galaxy S8 or S8 Plus? Let's take a look. So I've got the Galaxy S8 Plus model in midnight black, and for simplicity's sake I'm going to refer to it as the S8, as aside from size they're pretty much the same phone. The phone comes in a pretty standard box that reminds me of the Note 7 experience. There's an outer layer you slide off and then you peel the top side away like you're opening a book. Interestingly enough, the box isn't held together with magnets like in the Note 7 and instead secured with just a cardboard tab. In any case, the phone is freed from its confines using a smart plastic tab on the side, and ripping the plastic off, you're greeted with the first feature of this phone, the black near bezel-less screen. But putting the phone away for a second, the box also contains the usual accessories like paperwork, the USB-C cable, adapter, and charger. Then we have the AKG branded Samsung headphones, which sound great as far as stock headphones go. The first thing anyone will notice is the design. Samsung is killing it in the industrial design department, and the S8 is just another example of how it's doing so well. Coming from an iPhone 7 Plus, the S8 exposes just how space inefficient the iPhone and its iPhone siblings are. The infinity wide QHD display looks like it simply melts into the frame of the phone, and unless you're looking at it closely, it's as seamless as you could ask for. It's a metal frame sandwiched between two slabs of Gorilla Glass 5 that, despite all its benefits, is still victim to the small fine scratches to annoy the most OCD of us out there. But that's nothing a skin won't fix. It also retains its Blackmagic open-port IP68 water resistance. Then, unlike a lot of smartphones in the market, the design isn't ruined by an unsightly camera bump on the back. So it maintains a clean symmetry to its shape and makes it really comfortable in the hand despite its curved display. The standard S8 is a little smaller than the S7 Edge with a bigger screen, and the larger Plus model is only barely bigger than it and yet infinitely more comfortable to hold. Despite the Plus model having a 6.2-inch screen, its narrow dimensions mean it's actually easier to handle than the larger phablet-sized phone, especially the iPhone Plus models. And then there's the display, the star of the show. My god, it's gorgeous. AMOLED screens have come a long way, and Samsung are true leaders when it comes to this technology. The colours are punchy and vibrant, blacks are deep, and the HDR compatibility is a big plus. Some people complain that it makes photos and content look unnatural, but chances are they're only saying that because they don't have the privilege to look at an AMOLED screen all the time. Most people would probably be converts if given the opportunity, and hey, rumours are that the giants Apple are going to adopt OLED displays in their next flagship phone, so if that's not an indication as a sign of the times, then I don't know what is. Inside, you have a phone sporting either the latest Snapdragon 835 in the US or Samsung's own in-house Exynos chip, which I have in Australia. It also comes with 4GB of RAM, not 6, and is a beast when it comes to performance. You'll occasionally see a stutter or bug here and there, as it usually is with Samsung phones, but as far as Samsung phones go, it's nowhere near as bad as previous builds. And this is testament to Samsung's continued efforts with bloatware and skins. The Samsung skin called the Grace UX is far more toned down, is now one of the best and smoothest OEM Android skins on the market. But speaking of bloatware and software, Samsung's Bixby is largely useless for any market outside of South Korea. Bixby Vision in its current state is also useless. It often shows me irrelevant or completely wrong options. But that being said, I'm holding judgment on Bixby until it's fully released worldwide. And the Bixby button is just an annoying feature when I press it accidentally. There are heaps of software workarounds to remap the button, but as far as I can see, most seem to cause some form or element of lag or scrolling stutter when it's activated, so beware of that. There's a 3000 mAh battery in the S8 versus the 3500 one in the Plus model, and despite having a smaller capacity to the S7 Edge, I've been easily reaching the end of the day with upwards of 30% or even higher with regular medium to heavy use. That being said, there seems to be quite a lot of inconsistent results, so your mileage may vary. The camera, which is one of the barometers of how good a smartphone is largely the same as the previous S7 Edge model. It sports a 12 megapixel sensor with optical image stabilization and super fast dual pixel autofocus. The main difference being that there's a new processing technique and the photos are still some of the best to come out of any smartphone this year, but as with the trend in 2017, it falls behind with the dual camera game. For most, this isn't a big deal, but when you're comparing flagships, it is a glaring miss. Especially when you're comparing it to Samsung's bigger rivals like the iPhone 7, where it's got a telephoto lens, or with the newly released LG G6 with its wide-angle camera. The front camera, however, has had a major boost in quality with a bump in megapixel size to 8 megapixels, and it's one of the very first flagships to include an autofocusing lens for your super sharp selfies. Also, interestingly enough, the S8 selfie lens isn't as wide as the previous S7 lens. Not a great deal breaker, but it is something to be aware of for those who love taking selfies. And then there's the speakers. In a world where even Apple has decided it's a good idea to include stereo speakers, it seems baffling that Samsung chose to ignore its speakers, especially knowing that they own audio giants Harman Kardon. While sound quality has improved from the downward-facing speaker in the S7, it's still easily blocked with a finger, and the quality is night and day when you compare it to a phone with stereo sound. However, that can be easily forgiven if you own Bluetooth speakers, given the S8 has a new party trick of being able to stream audio to two separate sources thanks to Bluetooth 5.0. And this is just one example of fairly small but seemingly trivial features that are included in the S8 that add up to a device that provides a lot of features and value. So, should you buy the S8? If you're looking for a new flagship phone to use for the next couple of years, then yes. But if you're coming from a 2016 flagship phone, then maybe not. 1,349 Australian dollars or $900 US is a heck of a lot of money to pay for a phone. Yes, the iPhones are similar, but you can't ignore the price. However, if you love technology, you love phones, and you love at being on the bleeding edge, then you probably own it already. Either way, regardless of how you acquire the phone, you won't regret it. Like I said in the beginning, the S8 is one of the best phones of 2017, and if you ask me, should you buy it and you want to, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say yes. Anyway, that's pretty much it. What do you think? Do you have a Samsung Galaxy S8 or are you going to buy one? Let me know why or why not in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed what you saw, be sure to smash the like button. And if you haven't already, do consider subscribing. As always, thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Say good day, Mum, for me. Cheers.